Listen to me. You've come too far to quit now. You've cried too many nights. You've prayed too many prayers. You pushed through too much pain just to throw it all away because it got hard. Let me tell you something that'll change your life. Success is on the other side of your struggles. But you'll never reach it if you keep quitting every time you feel pressure. Quitting is easy. Anybody can quit. Winners, they get back up. Champions, they push past tired. Legends, they endure storms that would destroy most people and they keep going. Why? Because they made a decision. They said, I won't stop. I won't quit. I will finish what I started. That's what makes the difference between average and phenomenal. Don't make quitting a habit, because the more you do it, the more natural it becomes. And soon, every time you hit a wall, you won't climb over it. You'll turn back. You'll turn back. Every time you get rejected, you won't try again. You'll give up. Every time life punches you, you'll stay down instead of fighting back. Listen, you were born to fight. You were built to rise. You were created with the power to overcome. You're not soft. You're not weak. You've got greatness inside you. But greatness doesn't show up when things are easy. It reveals itself in adversity. So don't quit on your goals. Don't quit on your family. Don't quit on your dreams. And for God's sake, don't quit on you. Every time you feel like quitting, remind yourself why you start. Think about the version of you that doesn't stop. Think about the future waiting on you. If you just refuse to give up, pain is temporary. But quitting, that's forever. So I challenge you, right now, finish what you started. Push through and never, ever make a habit of quitting, because when it's finished, champions conquer and you are built to rise. You think quitting is just a one-time thing, like you can walk away from something once and it won't affect anything else. No, that's not how this works. Quitting is not just a decision, it's a seed. And once you plant it, it grows. Every single time you say, I'm done, that seed gets watered. Every time you give up when it gets tough, that seed starts sprouting roots inside your mind. You may not see it right away, but it's there, growing, taking over your mindset, slowly turning you into the kind of person who folds under pressure. At first, it starts small. You quit a workout early. You stop chasing that dream job because the first application didn't go through. You give up on a relationship because you didn't want to have that one hard conversation. And you tell yourself, it's okay. I'll try again later. But that's the lie. You don't try again. You build a habit of stopping when things get uncomfortable. And that habit, it becomes who you are. You have to understand something. The brain remembers what you feed it. If you feed it excuses, it stores excuses. If you feed it surrender, it memorizes surrender. So when the next challenge comes, your brain pulls from experience. And what does it find? Oh yeah, last time we quit. That's what we do. We don't fight. We don't endure. We quit. And guess what? You quit again and again and again and again. Until now, it's not even a question anymore. You don't even consider pushing through. You just fold. That's how people lose their potential. That's how greatness gets buried. Not because they weren't smart enough. Not because they didn't have the talent. But because they quit once, then again, and then it became who they were. They got so used to running from pain, so comfortable with giving up, that perseverance became foreign to them. The default setting was escape, not endure, not fight, just escape. And don't sit there acting like this doesn't apply to you. You know the truth. You know there were moments in your life where you had it, momentum, passion, hunger, and then life hit you in the mouth. You got rejected. You got hurt. You failed. And instead of standing up, instead of swinging back, you laid down. You told yourself it wasn't the right time, that maybe you weren't meant for it. But deep down, you didn't stop because it was impossible. You stopped because it was uncomfortable. You stopped because it was uncomfortable. You stopped because you got used to quitting. And I get it. Quitting is easy. It feels safe. It gives you immediate relief. But that relief comes at a price. And the price is your growth. Every time you quit, you rob yourself of the lesson that comes from struggle. You rob yourself of the confidence that only comes from pushing through. You rob yourself of the transformation that happens only in the fire. And so what happens? You stay stuck. You stay soft. And now every goal you set looks like a mountain because you've never climbed anything. You've only walked away. You have to break the pattern. You've got to retrain your mind. You have to teach yourself that discomfort isn't the enemy, it's the path. You have to convince your brain that when things get hard, that's not a sign to stop, it's signal to go hard. You gotta make persistence your new habit. Because just like quitting becomes a pattern, so does grinding, so does resilience, so does finishing. But here's the truth. Changing that habit doesn't feel good. It hurts. It takes everything in you to push through when your body says quit. When your mind says stop. When your mind says stop. When your emotions say not today. But that's where the power is. That's where the shift happens. The moment you choose to stay, when everything in you wants to run, that's the moment you take your power back. That's the moment you tell your future, I'm coming for you, and I'm not leaving until I get what's mine. You think successful people don't get tired? You think they don't feel like quitting? Of course they do. But they made a decision, once and for all, that no matter how tough it gets, they will not break. They train themselves to stay in the fire. And now when life hits them, they don't run, they rise. They rise because they built a habit of rising. They built a habit of fighting. They built a habit of finishing. And that's what you gotta do. You gotta reverse every time you've ever quit. You gotta outwork that old version of you. You've gotta build a new track record with yourself that says, I don't give up anymore. You gotta show your own soul that quitting ain't who you are. You're not a runner. You're not a coward. You're a warrior. You're a finisher. You're someone who keeps showing up even when it hurts. Especially when it hurts. Because once you stop quitting, once you break that habit, you become unstoppable. Everybody wants success. Everybody wants to win. They want the spotlight, the applause, the car, the house, the lifestyle. But let me ask you something. Are you willing to bleed for it? Are you willing to struggle, to suffer, to be broken and still keep going? Let's still keep going. Because what nobody tells you is that success doesn't come gift wrap. It comes with scars. It comes with pain. And if you want it, you better be ready to fight through hell to get it. See, everybody sees the outcome, but nobody sees the process. You look at someone who made it, and you think, oh man, they got lucky. No, they didn't get lucky. They got up when it hurt. They kept grinding when they were broke. They kept showing up when no one clapped for them, when no one believed in them. And that's the difference. Success doesn't come to the most talented. It comes to the most determined, the ones who refuse to quit, even when everything inside them screams a stop. Struggle isn't a detour. It's the path. You don't get to skip the pain. You don't get to avoid the process. You've got to walk through it. You've got to wake up when your body says to sleep. You've got to keep moving when your mind says to quit. That's the price of greatness. If you're not willing to pay it, don't expect to be great. Let me tell you something. There was no elevator to success. You have to take the stairs. One painful, grueling step at a time. And some of those steps, they're steep, they're dark, they're lonely. You'll fall, you'll fail, you'll cry. But guess what? If you keep climbing, well, you'll get there. You just have to endure. That's the key. Not talent, not luck, not connections, endurance. And the problem with most people is they expect results without resistance. They want the destination without the journey. But the journey is what qualifies you. The struggle shapes you. It teaches you who you are. It reveals your character. See, when everything is good, everybody's loyal, everybody's motivated. But when life smacks you in the face, when the world says a no, when everything falls apart, that's when the real ones rise. That's when you find out if you really want it or if it was just talk. You say you want to be successful, but are you willing to be uncomfortable every day? Are you willing to do the work when nobody's watching? Can you stay committed when there's no applause, no spotlight, no reward? That's what endurance looks like. That's what struggle demands. The most successful people didn't avoid the pain. They embraced it. They sat with it. They grew from it because they understood something. Struggle is not your enemy. It's your teacher. It's not here to break you. It's here to build you. Every challenge you face is preparing you for the next level. But you can't level up if you run from the pain. You can't get stronger if you avoid the weight. You've got to change the way you see struggle. Stop seeing it as a punishment. Start seeing it as a blessing. Because it's in the fire that diamonds are formed. It's in the storm that strength is born. That strength is born. You're not growing when everything's easy. You're growing when you're being stretched, when you're tired, when you're frustrated, when you want to quit but keep going anyway. Success hides behind the pain. It waits behind the tears. Stands on the other side of heartbreak, failure, and rejection. And only those willing to walk through all of that will ever get to shake hands with it. That's the truth nobody tells you. They'll sell you the dream, but they won't talk about the nightmare that comes before it. They won't mention the nights you can't sleep, the sacrifices you'll make, the relationships that will fall apart because you're chasing something bigger than comfort. But I'm telling you, you want to succeed? Prepare for struggle. Prepare to be misunderstood. Prepare to feel alone. Prepare to keep pushing even when everything is screaming at you to stop. Because that's where success lives. Not in the comfort zone, not in the soft spaces, but in the deep waters, in the trenches, in the grind. And listen, there's no timeline. Your breakthrough might come tomorrow. It might come a year from now. But the only way you'll see it is if you don't give up during the struggle. You've got to trust the process. Keep your head down and your faith up. Keep showing up. Keep giving your all. Because success doesn't reward those who start. It rewards those who endure, who finish, who say, I don't care what I have to go through. I'm not stopping until I get what's mine. The storm doesn't mean you're losing. The struggle doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're growing. It means you're growing. It means you're being tested. And the ones who pass that test, they become unstoppable. You don't even realize what happens when you quit. You think quitting is just the end of one thing. Like you just walked away and that's it. Done. No. When you quit, you don't just stop what you're doing. You reset. You lose everything you worked for. All those late nights, all those early mornings, all the sacrifices, they get erased the moment you say, I can't do this anymore. That's what quitting costs you. It doesn't just pause the journey. It restarts the clock. Imagine building a house brick by brick. You're sweating every day carrying those bricks, laying the foundation. And just when the walls start rising, just when the roof's almost there, you walk away. You leave it unfinished. You abandon it. Then a few weeks, months, years later, you decide to come back. But guess what? The winds knocked it over. The rains washed it away. The foundation's cracked. Now you got to start all over again. From zero, because you didn't finish. That's what happens with your dreams. Every time you quit, it's demolition. You don't just take a break. You knock down everything you built. You lose the momentum. You lose the rhythm. And most importantly, you lose trust in yourself. That's the real cost. Because now, the next time you start something, deep down inside, your brain remembers what happened last time. You didn't finish, you quit. And now that little voice in your head whispers, here we go again. You're not built for this. It's like resetting a game every time you lose a level. But it's not just a game, it's your life. You keep starting over. New project, new plan, new parcel, but no discipline, no follow through, no commitment. And you wonder why nothing changes. You wonder why you don't get results. It's because you never stay long enough to win. You keep going back to day one. People love to say starting is the hardest part. No, it's not. Starting is easy. Starting is hype. It's adrenaline's hype. It's adrenaline. Anybody can start something, but finishing, that takes guts. That takes pain. That takes discipline. And that's when most people tap out. They get to the hard part and they hit eject. They quit, not realizing that they were just one more rep, one more hour, one more day away from the breakthrough. You don't realize how close you are. That's the part that haunts me. Some of you quit right before the door opened, you turned back, right before the finish line. You couldn't see it, but you were inches away. One more try, one more sacrifice, one more round of sweat and you would have made it. But you let the pain get louder than the purpose. You let the frustration blind you from the progress. And here's the kicker. Life doesn't pause while you quit. Time keeps moving. The world keeps turning. While you're resetting, somebody else is finishing. While you're taking a break, somebody else is building. And one day you'll look around and see them living the life you wanted. Not because they were better than you, not because they were more talented, but because they refused to hit reset. Hit end, they stayed in the grind. They finished. You've got to understand that discipline is cumulative. Progress stacks. Every day you show up, you build. Every time you stay when it's hard, you add another brick. But the moment you quit, the whole structure crumbles. You can't keep building a tower and knocking it down every time the wind blows. You have to stand tall and say, I'm not starting over again. I've come too far to quit. I've bled too much to walk away. It doesn't matter how long it takes. It doesn't matter how slow the climb is. What matters is that you don't stop, because every step counts, every sack counts, every sacrifice adds up. But the minute you give in, the minute you bow out, you reset it all. You lose the compound interest of your discipline, you throw away the sweat equity, and now you gotta dig deep to start over again. That's the weight of quitting. It doesn't just cost you today, it costs you everything you've already given. And let's be real, starting over ain't easy. Starting over when your confidence is low, that's a mountain. Starting over when your past screams of failure, that's a war. That's why I'm telling you, don't do it. Don't keep quitting. Don't keep restarting. Stay in the fight. Stay in the fight. Because that consistency, that grit, that's what separates the winners from the wishers. That's what builds legacies. You've come too far to reset again. You've cried too many nights. You've sacrificed too many moments. Don't let it all be for nothing. Don't throw away the bricks you've laid. Keep building. Keep showing up. Keep pushing through. Because the only way you win in this life is if you refuse to start over. Pain is real. I won't lie to you. It's sharp. It's ugly. It's loud. It doesn't whisper. It screams. It shows up when you're least ready for it. When you're grinding, when you're giving everything you got, that's when it hits. Your muscles burn. Your mind aches. Your heart questions everything. That's pain. But I'm here to tell you, pain is temporary. It may last a minute or an hour or a day, maybe even a month. But if you fight through it, if you endure it, it will pass. What you're feeling right now is not forever. But the moment you quit, that decision stays with you. That's forever. You think the pain of discipline is too much? Let me tell you, the pain of regret is heavier. It sits on your chest. It wakes you up at night. It follows you into every opportunity you missed, every moment you gave up too early. Pain might break you for a moment, but quitting breaks you for life. Because every time you stop, you're not just running from the discomfort, you're running from who you were meant to be. You're turning your back on the version of you that could have been great. You can't avoid pain. That's not how growth works. You want stronger muscles, you lift until they tear. You want sharper skills, you practice until your fingers bleed. Your mind screams, your body says enough. But you don't stop there. That's where the magic begins. That's where champions are born. Not in the comfort, but in the chaos. Not in the silence, but in the struggle. You become who you were born to be when you choose to feel the fire and keep walking through it anyway. Pain is part of the price. You think winners got there without suffering? Without breakdowns? Without doubts? No, they made peace with pain. They looked pain in the eye and said, you can hit me, you can make me cry, you can make me scream, but you will not make me stop. That's the difference. Winners endure it. Quitters surrender to it. Quitters surrender to it. And when you surrender, you don't just lose the battle. You start carrying that loss for the rest of your life. You'll remember every time you gave in. Every time you said, it's too much. You'll remember it when someone else wins what you gave up on. When someone else lives dream you let die. And that's a pain you can't shake. Not in a week, not in a year, not in a decade. That's permanent. That stays in your bones. You think quitting makes the pain go away. It doesn't. It just trades one pain for another. One is when you fight through it. The other follows you like a shadow. That's the truth. When you quit, the pain doesn't leave. It transforms. It becomes guilt. It becomes frustration. It becomes regret. And that's the kind of pain that doesn't let you sleep at night. But when you fight through the pain, when you push through it, something changes. You get stronger. You get wiser. You build grit. Every time you say, not today, I'm not quitting today, you gain something inside that no one can take from you. That's what most people never realize. Pain is a gatekeeper. It guards greatness. It stands between average and excellence. And it asks, how bad do you want it? If you quit at the first thing, you'll never know what you're made of. You'll never see your full potential. You'll never taste what it's like to win on the other side of hell. And trust me, it's sweet, but you gotta earn it. You gotta go through it. There's no shortcut, no cheat code, just pain and the choice, push or quit, rise or retreat. Every single person who ever made it to the top bled on the way. They broke down, they failed, but they didn't stop. They told themselves, this pain won't last, but the reward will. This season will pass, but if I quit now, I'll live with that forever. And that mindset, that's everything. That's what separates the legend from the lost. You have to choose your pain. You can feel the burn of pushing forward, or you can carry the weight of giving up. One hurts now, the other hurts forever, but only one makes you better. Only one makes you proud. The kind of proud that hits different. The kind of proud that says, I didn't fold. I didn't flinch. I stayed in it when it hurt the most. That's the moment you start living at a different level. When you stop fearing pain and start understanding its purpose. When you realize it's not there to destroy you, it's there to develop you. It's trying to show you something. It's trying to teach you what you're capable of. But you'll never know if you keep running. So stop quitting. Stop resetting. Stop looking for the easy road. There is no easy road. Only pain and purpose. Only struggle and strength. Choose the pain that leads to greatness. And when it gets hard, and it will tell yourself what champions tell themselves every day, this pain is temporary. But I'm not, and I refuse to quit. I need you to hear this like your life depends on it, because it does. That voice in your head telling you to quit, that's not you. That's fear, that's fatigue, that's frustration talking. But there's another voice you need to hear, a voice louder than your doubt, louder than your exhaustion. It's your future self, and it's screaming, begging you, don't quit today. Please, don't give up on me. You can't see that version of you right now. You don't see the car you drive yet, the home you live in, the family you provide for. You don't see the respect you earn, the lives you inspire, the doors you open, but it's there. That version of you exists. It's not fantasy, it's real. But only if you stay in the fight. Only if you stop letting today's pain erase tomorrow's promise. Every time you want to quit, you need to stop and picture the person you're becoming. The one who's proud, the one who's strong, the one who walked through hell and came out holding the keys to everything they ever wanted. But that person, they don't exist if you stop now. If you give up today, you rob yourself of that version of you. You bury that greatness. You kill that dream. And for what? To feel a moment's relief? To escape the grind for a few hours, a few days? You think quitting takes the pressure off? It doesn't. It just adds weight to your future. That unfinished book, that abandoned workout, that dropped out course, that broken promise, it stays with you. In the version of you 10 years from now, they're stuck cleaning up that mess. They're living in a world where you gave up instead of growing up, where you folded instead of fighting. I need you to understand, this isn't about motivation. This is about responsibility. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to the kid who dreamed big. You owe it to the version of you that got up after every failure and said, I'm not done yet. You owe it to your future family, your future success, your future peace. Don't let a hard day erase the life you've been building one step at a time. The strongest people you know, they've had days like this, days where quitting felt like the only option. But they heard the voice of their future calling saying, hold on, just one more step, one more rep, one more try, one more try. And that was enough to keep going. That was enough to hold the line. You need to find that same voice in you, not the one that says I can't, but the one that says not yet, not now. The truth is, no one's going to drag you across the finish line. No one's going to wake you up every morning. No one's going to do the reps for you, write the words for you, grind the hours for you. That's on you. That's your responsibility. But what you build today, no matter how small, becomes the foundation your future stands on. Every sacrifice, every late night, every time you say a no to quitting, that's an investment in the future you. And trust me, that version of you, they're thankful, they're proud. They're living a life you can't even imagine yet. They're walking through doors you open. They're holding trophies you earn. They're standing on stages, cashing checks, hugging loved ones, speaking life into people. And it all started with the decision to keep going when quitting looked easy. So don't let temporary emotions make permanent decisions. Don't let fear talk you out of your future. Don't let pain blind you from the progress you've already made. You've come too far. You've grown too much. You've been through too many storms to stop here. Quitting today isn't just a setback. It's betrayal. It's betrayal of everything you said you wanted, everything you promised, everything you believed in. And I know it's hard. I know the weight feels like too much, but you were built for this. You weren't designed to fold. You were created to fight. You were made to win. And win or lose, rise or fall, the only way you lose for real is if you quit. So when it hurts, when it's lonely, when the mountain looks too high and your strength feels too low, I need you to listen to that voice inside. The one from tomorrow. The one saying, oh, please, just keep going. I'm counting on you. I'm waiting for you. I need you. That's your future. That's your greatness. Don't walk away from it. Don't silence it. Don't quit on it. It's early. You're tired. That alarm clock's screaming and every part of you wants to hit snooze. Just a few more minutes. You'll do it later, tomorrow. But deep down, you know what that is. That's the soft voice of regret waiting to grow louder, stronger, more painful. That's the sound of excuses becoming habits. And you need to shut it down now because while discipline might sting for a moment, regret, that pain lasts a lifetime. Discipline is heavy in the moment. It feels like sacrifice. It feels like saying a no when everyone else is saying yes. Waking up before the sun, grinding while others sleep, pushing yourself when it's easier to coast. But here's the truth. Discipline only weighs ounces. That pain, it's light, it's fleeting. It's the price of excellence. You pay it once and you get rewarded for life. But regret weighs tons. It crushes, it lingers. It revisits you when you're older, when it's too late to go back, too late to redo the reps you skipped, the opportunities you ran from, the goals you never finished. You can feel that weight. Some of you already know what I'm talking about. You said, if only I tried harder, if only I stayed committed, if only I didn't quit. That's regret talking. That's what happens when you choose comfort over consistency. That's what happens when you break promises to yourself over and over until your word doesn't mean anything anymore, not even to you. And that weight, you carry it every day, not on your back, but in your chest. It hits you when you look in the mirror, when you scroll past someone living the life you wanted, when you know deep down the only thing standing between where you are and where you should be is the work you didn't do. Discipline is painful too, but it's the kind of pain that builds. You feel it in the gym, in the classroom, at your desk, in the studio, wherever you grind. That pain shows up, but when you lean into it, it makes you better. It sharpens you. It teaches you something about yourself. You realize you're stronger than you thought, more capable than you believe. And that's a gift. That's a win. That's a step closer to the life you said you wanted. But regret has no upside. It doesn't grow you. It haunts you. It reminds you of what could have been. And you can't run from it. You can't drink it away, sleep it away, scroll it away. It's there when the noise dies down, when you're alone, when you finally sit with your choices and realize you traded greatness for comfort. You want to know the truth. Nobody escapes pain. There's no path in life without struggle. So the question isn't, will it hurt? It's a which pain will you choose? Will you choose the daily grind of discipline? The pain that builds, that pays you back, that makes you proud? Or will you choose the hollow ache of regret? The pain that drains you, that follows you, that leaves you wondering. There's no such thing as a neutral choice. Every time you skip the workout, you're choosing regret. Every time you skip the study session, the writing, the reading, the practice, you're feeding the weight that will crush you later. But when you push through, when you show up tired, when you say yes to the hard path, when you keep your word even when it's hard, that's when discipline starts paying dividends. It doesn't show up overnight. That's what makes people quit. They don't see results right away. They want the reward now. But discipline isn't about now. It's about who you become later. It's about planting seeds that turn into fruit months, years down the line. And when that harvest comes, you'll look back and be grateful for every hard day, every sore muscle, every moment you chose to do what needed to be done, even when it was the last thing you felt like doing. Some of you right now, you're standing at a crossroads. One path is easy, feels good now. No pressure, no early mornings, no stress, but the cost comes later, and it's brutal. The other path is hard now. It demands everything, but the payoff is freedom, it's fulfillment, it's peace, because that's what discipline gives you, peace, not just success, not just money or status. Real peace, the kind that lets you sleep at night, the kind that says, I gave everything. I didn't fold, I didn't quit. I respected the gifts I was given. That's the life you want. That's the life that honors your purpose. So the next time you want to skip the work, the next time you want to give in, remember this, discipline weighs ounces. You carry it for a little while. It makes you stronger. But regret will sit on your shoulders for the rest of your life. Don't choose the pain that leaves you empty. Choose the one that fills you with pride. Choose discipline. Choose to show up every single day. Everybody wants to live the dream, but not everybody is willing to pay the price. You talk about what you want. You post about it. You speak it into existence. But let me ask you something real. Well, what have you sacrificed for it? Because your dream, it doesn't come cheap. It don't come with discounts. It don't go on sale. You can't coupon clip your way to greatness. It demands sacrifice. And until you're willing to give something up, you're not serious about going up. I'm not talking about a little discomfort. I'm talking about giving up what you love right now for what you love more in the long run. I'm talking about early mornings when your body screams for sleep. I'm talking about saying no to parties, to comfort, to scrolling your life away on a screen. I'm talking about cutting off distractions, cutting off toxic relationships, cutting off anything that doesn't align with your vision. Because if it costs you your purpose, it's too expensive to keep. You can't have both, comfort and success. You can't live like the rest and expect to be the best. That's not how this works. You got to choose. You got to decide what you're willing to give up to go up. Some of y'all praying for blessings, but you won't stop playing. Some of y'all crying for success, but you keep wasting your time. Listen to me. God will give it to you, but not until you're ready to handle the weight that comes with it. You see these champions, these elite performers, these legends. You think they just woke up one day and got lucky? No, they gave something up. They sacrificed sleep, ego, comfort, time with friends. They missed birthdays, missed vacations, missed out on the fun. And you call it crazy. But that's the cost of building a dream. You can't build something legendary while living like everyone else. You say you want to make it, but you're still trying to keep everything in your life comfortable. You don't want to let go of habits that slow you down. You don't want to walk away from people who keep you average. You don't want to be uncomfortable, and that's why you're stuck. You don't grow when it's easy. You grow when it's painful. You grow when it's lonely. You grow when you feel like quitting, but you keep showing up anyway. And make no mistake, the dream will test you. It will ask you, how bad do you want it? Not once, not twice, over and over. It'll test your patience, your resilience, your character. You'll hit walls. You'll lose sleep. You'll lose people. You'll be misunderstood. But if the dream is real, if it's rooted deep enough, you won't fold, you'll rise. Because you understand that sacrifice is the down payment for success. You can't just want the prize, or you have to be willing to suffer for it. You have to go broke for it. You have to bleed for it. You have to show life you mean business, that you're not just in love with the idea of winning, but you're ready to walk through fire to earn it. And that fire, that sacrifice, that's what makes the success taste so much sweeter. Some of you are talented. Some of you are smart. But talent and intelligence without sacrifice is wasted potential. The world is full of gifted people who never sacrificed enough to activate what was inside them. Don't be one of them. Don't let potential go to the grave with you. Don't let your dream die because you weren't willing to pay the price. So what are you willing to give up? Your pride, your habits, your weekends, your distractions? Because until you let go of average, you'll never reach excellent. Until you let go of what's easy, you'll never build what's extraordinary. The world will always offer you comfort. Your greatness requires you to walk away from it. And here's the truth. If the dream doesn't cost you something, it's not worth anything. If the dream doesn't stretch you, break you, and then rebuild you, then it's not big enough. So stop looking for the easy way. Stop looking for shortcuts. The real reward is on the other side of sacrifice. Not just in what you achieve, but in who you achieve, but in who you become. Stronger, wiser, hungrier, more focused, more disciplined. You got one life, one shot, and the clock is ticking. So decide, are you going to keep playing it safe, or are you going to make the sacrifice your dream demands? Success don't happen by accident. It's not something you stumble into. It's not a one-time event. It's not built in a day or even a week. It's built through relentless consistency, through the daily grind that most people run from, through the unseen effort, the uncelebrated discipline, the behind-the-scenes commitment that nobody claps for. That's where success lives. Not in your emotions, not in your intentions, but in your habits. I see too many of you starting strong and then fading fast. You show up on fire for 3 days, then disappear for 3 weeks. You're intense, but you're not consistent. You're passionate, but you're not disciplined. You're loud about your goals, but quiet in your grind. That's why you don't get results. Because success doesn't respond to time. It doesn't respond to mood swings. It responds to grit, to persistence, to showing up even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. It's easy to do the right thing once. Anybody can have one good day. Anybody can show up when they're motivated. But real winners, real champions, they show up when they don't feel like it. They show up when it's raining, when it's dark, when the pressure is heavy. They show up every day because they understand the truth. Consistency compounds. Every rep you put in, every step you take, every decision you make in alignment with your goal, it builds momentum. And momentum becomes progress. And progress becomes success. You want to know why most people never make it? It's not because they don't have talent. It's not because they don't have resources. It's because they quit too often. They stop when they're tired. They stop when they get distracted. They stop when it gets uncomfortable. But success doesn't go to the most talented. It goes to the most consistent. The one who keeps showing up. The one who keeps showing up. The one who refuses to stop. The one who works through pain, doubt, fear, and failure and says, I'm not going anywhere. You got to become obsessed with showing up. Obsessed with sticking to your plan. Obsessed with executing no matter how you feel. Because the moment you let feelings decide your actions, you already lost. Feelings are fleeting. Some days you'll feel amazing. Other days you'll feel empty. But none of that matters. What matters is, did you show up? Did you put in the work when it wasn't convenient? Did you stay committed when no one was watching? That's the difference between the average and the elite. Consistency is not just a habit. It's a character trait. It says something about you. It says you can be trusted, that you have integrity, that you don't just chase dreams, you work for them, you grind for them, you earn them, day by day, brick by brick. While everyone else is trying to find a shortcut, you're laying the foundation. While they're waiting for motivation, you're taking action because you know the secret discipline is stronger than motivation. And don't get it twisted. This ain't about perfection. This ain't about never messing up. It's about what you do when you fall. Do you stay down or do you get back up and keep moving? Consistency doesn't mean you never slip. It means you never quit. You keep coming back. You keep hitting that wall until it breaks. You keep pushing that dream forward, inch by inch, day by day. Look, I'm not telling you it's going to be easy. I'm telling you it's going to be worth it. I'm telling you that the hard days, the lonely days, the days when it feels like nothing's working, those are the days that build you. Those are the days that shape your legacy. Anyone can keep going when it's easy. But when it's tough, when the weight is heavy, when the results are slow, that's when you separate yourself. You've got to become dangerous with consistency. So locked in that nothing can pull you off track. Not a bad day, not a failure, not a setback. Because setbacks don't stop the consistent. They don't even shake them. They just fuel the fire. You bounce back faster. You push harder. You adjust your grip and keep climbing because this dream is not a hobby. It's not a maybe someday. It's a mission. And missions require commitment daily, relentless, unwavering commitment. So if you want it, prove it. Not once, not for a week, not just when people are watching, but every single day, rain or shine, tired or energized, seen or unseen, you show up, you stay locked in, you put in the reps. Because the person who shows up consistently beats the person who's only motivated once in a while. Always. This is your moment. This is your shot. And it's not going to be one with one good effort. It's going to be one with 1,000 small, consistent actions stacked on top of each other until they become something unstoppable. So stop asking when your time will come. Your time will come when you show you're consistent enough to keep it when it does. When you say you want something, the world listens to your words. But life responds to your actions. You say you want success, but the question is, are you willing to give your all? Not your leftovers, not your convenience, not your spare energy after you scroll for 2 hours or played around with your time. I'm talking about your everything, your focus, your discipline, your sacrifice. Because if you're not willing to give everything, then don't expect to get anything. Too many people are living with one foot in and one foot out. One day they're committed. The next day, they're distracted. One moment, they're passionate. The next moment, they're lazy. And they wonder why they're stuck. It's because they've never made the decision to go all in on their dream. all in on their growth, all in on who they're supposed to be. You can't build a legacy on half effort. You can't live your best life while giving your worst habits a place to stay. At some point, you gotta draw a line in the sand and say, no more halfway. From this day forward, it's all nothing. And I get it, it's hard. Giving your all doesn't feel good every day. It costs you sleep, costs you comfort, it costs you convenience. But ask yourself, what does staying average cost you? What does quitting cost you? What does regret cost you? What does regret cost you? You've got to choose your pain, the pain of discipline or the pain of disappointment. And let me tell you, only one of them leads to freedom. You've got to stop negotiating with your goals. Stop giving yourself an exit strategy. Stop leaving open doors for excuses. Burn the plan B. Get rid of the safety net. You don't need a backup plan when you're fully committed to your purpose. That's the mindset of the 1%. They don't play with their potential. They don't flirt with their future. They lock in, they focus, and they execute daily. This ain't about hype. This ain't about posting quotes. This ain't about saying the right thing on Instagram. This is about you waking up every single day and doing what needs to be done. No applause, no spotlight, just pure effort. This is about showing the world what happens when someone decides to give their full heart, mind, body, and soul to the mission. Because when you give your all, something changes. You walk different. You talk different. You talk different, you start to attract different. Your standard rises, and so does your circle. Your outcomes change because you change. But none of that happens without the decision. The decision to go all in. The decision to stop playing safe. The decision to let go of who you were and become who you're called to be. That's not a feeling. That's a choice. That's a commitment you make to yourself and to your future. Hence, not once, it's daily. You choose to give your all every single day, no matter what yesterday looked like. Look, you're not always going to feel strong. You're not always going to feel brave. But if you keep showing up and giving everything you got, even when it's hard, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it feels like you're alone, life will reward you. It might not happen overnight. It might not come how you expect. But if you stay in the fight, if you stay faithful, if you stay relentlessly committed, breakthrough will come. And now, as we bring this whole journey to a close, every word I've spoken from keynote 1 to now, every lesson, every challenge, every push, it all comes back to this: give your. That's the theme. That's the message. That's the calling. Because when you give your all, you live with no regret. You don't look back wondering what could have been. You know you left it all in the field. You know you gave every ounce of who you are to your goals, your purpose, your future. And that's how legends are made. Not by talent alone, not by luck, but by relentless effort and unshakable commitment. So wherever you are in your journey, whether you're just starting, whether you've been knocked down, whether you're tired, lost, discouraged, I'm here to remind you, you still got more in you. You still got another level. You still got untapped greatness inside. But it won't come out by accident. Don't let this be just another speech. Let it be a turning point. Let it be the moment your whole life changes because you decided to stop dipping your toe in and start diving all the way in. Give everything. Love hard. Smart. Push daily. Stay hungry. Stay humble. And most of all, stay consistent. You don't owe the world perfection, but you owe yourself effort. You owe yourself everything you've got. So take the dream. Take the vision, take the purpose, and run with it. Break through the walls, fight through the fear. And don't you stop until you become the person you were born to be. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for listening. But more than anything, thank you in advance for going all in. Now go out there and give your all. You don't drown by falling in the water, you drown by staying there. Listen to me, you are going to fall, that's a given. Life is going to hit you with storms you didn't see coming. You're going to trip, you're going to get tripped. You're going to get knocked down. You're going to land face first in failure, confusion, heartbreak, rejection. That's not weakness. That's part of the journey. But the moment you decide to stay there, to stay in that pain, to soak in that defeat, that's when you drown. Falling ain't failure. Everybody falls. Every champion has hit the floor. Every success story has a moment of breakdown before a breakthrough. You're not different. You're not special because you failed. What makes you different is what you do next. Are you going to lay there? Are you going to wait for someone to rescue you? Whoa. Or are you going to fight? Are you going to claw your way back to the surface? Because drowning is a choice. You hear me? Drowning is what happens when you stop trying. See too many people fall once and never get up again. They failed at something and now they say, maybe it's not for me. They got rejected once and now they quit trying. They lost one job, one relationship, one opportunity, and now they're sitting in sorrow, making a home in the home. You're better than that. You got something inside you that was built for storms. You've got lungs for pressure. You've got legs for resistance. You've got a heart that was made for the climb. So why are you staying down? You can't control the waves. You can't control the storms, but you can control your decision to swim. You can control your decision to rise, to push off the bottom, to say, this will not be the end of me. It's not the fall that defines you, it's the fight. You've got to fight like your life depends on it, because it does. You've got to fight like everything you love is on the line, because it is. You can't lay there hoping things get better. You've got to move. You've got to rise. You've got to struggle through the water, cough up that failure, spit out that fear, and swim. There's no shame in falling. Let me say that again. There is no shame in falling. But stand there, giving up, letting life drag you to the bottom and hold you there. That's not who you are. That's not what you were made for. You were made to rise. You were made to overcome. You were made to get up again and again and again until there's no doubt who you are. Until the storm gives up before you do. You think champions don't fall? You think warriors don't cry? You think successful people haven't felt what you feel? They have. The only difference is they didn't stay there. They refused to let rock bottom be their final destination. They didn't drown in their sorrow. They didn't sink in their shame. They rose, and now it's your turn. It's your time to rise. Your time to stop reliving the pain and start rewriting your story. You got to stop looking at the water like it owns you. It doesn't. That depression doesn't own you. That failure doesn't own you. That fear, that guilt, that shame. It's not the end of your story unless you let it be. You got power inside you. Not later, right now. You got the strength to push through, but you've got to decide. You got to draw the line and say, I might be down, but I'm not done. I might be hurting, but I'm not helpless. I may be in the deep, but I'm not drowning. This is your reminder. This is your lifeline. Don't stay in the water. Don't stay in the water. Don't drown away you. Don't sink into hopelessness. Use the pain as your push. Use the fall as your foundation. Use the hurt as your hunger. And swim. Swim with everything you got. Swim with fire in your chest. Swim with purpose in your breath. Swim like your future depends on it, because it does. And let me leave you with this. Life doesn't reward the perfect. It rewards the persistent. It rewards those who fall 7 times, but rise 8. It rewards those who cry, but still move forward. It rewards those who feel fear, but walk through it. So don't be afraid to fall. Just don't stay down. Don't stay there. Don't make a home in the hurt. Don't drown. Rise, because the moral of this story is simple. Pain is inevitable. Failure is part of the process, but staying down is a choice. You are not built to stay down. You are built to rise, to swim, to conquer. You are built to survive the storm. You are built to live, not sink. So the next time you fall, don't fear it. Just don't stay there. Rise up, fight back, and finish what you started.